Good evening. It's Norma Cowie here from Mental Mind Treatments. We're just coming up on 7, so I am live. But always am early, waiting. I really want to welcome you, and I don't know about where you are, but it's hot here, and we have a fire that's quite close to us. So a friend just advised me they're having ash. I'm not that close. We don't have any ash. Our skies were smoky today, but they seem clear now. So obviously trustingly, the fire is much more under control than it was, say, yesterday. So mental mind treatments is my opportunity to help you understand where you're at, where you're going with whatever the difficulty is that you're having. It can be mental, it can be emotional, it can be health, it can be relationships, but it's a way I have of moving into understanding, seeing what's going on. Actually, it came to me based on something else that I was talking to someone about, that is very like a lot of the channeling I've done over the years. It's like I get into the prayer mode, and it's like I see, I hear, I know, and I channel, I guess, what is either behind the issue or how to resolve the issue. So here we are, and I'm going to start off this way. But before I begin, sorry, I sound a little all over the place, and that's probably true. You can really see the sun coming through here. That's because right outside my blind is my window, which the sun right now is beating on it, and my flowers are drying up. So right when I'm finished this, I'll be outside feeding them some more water because it gets quite hot out there. But I'm amazed tonight that this usually is just a streak of white, but this is like a sunburst of white. So the sun is really hot out there. And must admit, I've enjoyed many evenings sitting outside in the warm, covered. I can't be in the sun too long, and reading my book, or just enjoying the warmth, because so often, as you know, we have long winters here, and that is unable to do. So I'm just waiting for some people who usually come on to type in their chat what they would like me to work on today. But if they are not, I have some others lined up here that either have emailed me or messaged me or just whatever. And today, for the first person, is myself. I had some surgery on my leg, probably a couple of weeks ago, and I had the stitches out, and it's quite a big, and I just don't think the surgeon did a really. It's kind of like quite a gash. It's forming a scab at the present time, but it's sore, and it's taking a while to heal. So the first treatment is for myself and my leg. So here I go, because this is what I often do, is pray for myself and whatever it is I'm working with. So in knowing that there is one power and one essence, and this loving energy always wants the very, very best for each one of us, I know that by aligning myself with the loving energy and is directing it to my leg where the gash has cured, which was created to clear some cancer that was in my leg, that I know that the healing is taking place and that it is healing quickly. And that whatever the depth inside, which of course I cannot see, I know that the healing energy is moving outward and healing it quicker than perhaps it would be. And so allow myself to heal, to be able to utilize the leg easier. And also, as I'm talking about the leg, I also must mention my knee, which is because I'm having to limp on it. The knee is getting more what would you call, hurtful, painful? Painful is a better word. So I also know that the healing energy of the universe, as is directed to my knee and south down to the surgery that was done, that the healing vibe within there is resonating with all my cells. And as my cells begin to feel the vibration of that lovingness, and not my concern, but rather the love of that and the healing of that, what it brings about is a really sense of peace within myself to know about giving it time and not be impatient. And as I give it time and know that the healing is taking place exactly as it needs to, exactly as it comes, it's as though that whole area comes alive and radiates the essence of love. I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks and release it, knowing that this healing is taking forth with ease, with grace, and that I myself, in my deep part of me, I support this time period it takes for myself to heal appropriately, quickly, easily, and in total ways. I give thanks by saying, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. Okay, well, that feels better. It's amazing how much these really do help when you, and it's like the old saying is that, does the doctor heal thyself? It's like sometimes I'm busy working with everybody else, I forget. Just the quiet contemplation, bringing in the energy can also help me. And so it's a good reminder. That's probably why I'm doing these. Okay, my dear friend Karen is back here. Hello, Karen. So nice to see you there. Now let me read. I need my stronger glasses, I think. She says, I particularly enjoyed last Wednesday's talk on other lifetimes. Thank you. Friday was my birthday, and I would love a treatment for an attitude for a fresh start at this age. So I thank you and happy birthday for Friday. I have a little bit of a funny story, if it's all right, because it was also the father of my children's birthday on Friday. And my son phoned me and said, guess what? I'm here with someone whose birthday it is. Now, my ex-husband had a series of strokes a few years ago. And sometimes he does not speak very well at all. I don't call him because he's hard to understand. And absolutely, he spoke really, really well. And I said to my son later when I was talking to him privately, I said, boy, your dad was speaking really well today. And he said he does that. Sometimes are good days and sometimes are not, but that was a good day. And so Friday was a good day. So let's get on with you about your fresh start. And let's just see this new year that you're in. I know in the one power of all things that we are all connected. And it's in that connection that I join myself with Karen at this moment. And in this moment, as I look forward on the path that you're in and exploring in this new vibration that you stepped into on Friday. For that's what birthdays are about, is stepping into a new vibration, a new horizon, because there's another year before you. As I look at your pathway, I see that it is very clear. It is incredibly clear, but I feel that the strength, power, and belief in the self is that you can put your foot on that pathway and walk it. That step by step. It's not about, oh, what's coming out 8 months from now or what's coming out a year from now, because it's with every step that you take that you strengthen, deepen, and become more aware of not only yourself, but the environment, the direction of where you are, the essence of who you are. And it just seems to me now, looking at this pathway, it's not a great big wide pathway. It's a comfortable pathway. It's like it's you and a little bit more on either side. Maybe sometimes because the pathway seems narrow, that maybe the face of the pathway gets a little lost because of what's on the edges. I would say what is important is that you keep your eyes on the prize, as they say. You keep yourself looking in the direction of where you want. I do not see a goal at the end of this pathway. I do not see an end of this pathway. In other words, you are walking on this pathway and creating as you go. bringing about many, many delightful and wonderful aspects for you and the direction of where you want to go and what you want to do. I feel alive within. I feel inspired. I feel as though I'm a cloud, actually, like I am walking on a cloud. I am a cloud. And it's not that I'm not grounded. I don't want to give that impression. I just feel that life is ready for you, and it's about stepping into the path. It's about knowing the path will lead you where you need to go, because I don't see an end. And it is a fairly straight road. So it's about stepping in it, walking it, knowing that there's strength in it. And so it's a delight. It's like, wow, this is okay. This is for me. And I also feel within that there is a trust in the universe that perhaps has been missing. A trust that you're supported no matter what. A trust that your feelings are your feelings, but the universe's feeling is full of love for you, loving you for who you are, loving you for your struggles, loving you for what you have overcome, and knowing that you can overcome anything that comes along because you are on your path. You have stepping into it. You are moving forward. You may not know where that's leading, but you must trust. And in the trust will come the awareness that no matter what, everything is working very, very, very well. I give thanks and knowing this for you. I give thanks and knowing that your pathway is clear. You just have to walk it. You have to just, it's not a have to. I would say you want to. And therefore you can and you will walk it in the direction of where you want to go. And it is just one foot in front of the other, being who you are, being what you want to be, being all that there is. And in this knowingness, I give thanks by saying thank you, thank you, thank you, as I release this thought, knowing it is true for Karen. She is walking her path with love, with light, with awareness, knowing the universe has her back, and that the future itself is open to her to wherever she wants to walk, because the pathway is very clear. And so I say thanks as I release and let go with love, with blessings and knowingness, and I trust that it helps. Thank you. I also want to thank Marianne for being online, and Karen is already, boy, she must type fast. She says, Norm is so appropriate and motivating as always. I think you're a motivator, my dear. You really see me, and I truly appreciate you and your gifts. And thanks for sharing your gifts with us. Well, thank you for coming on regularly, giving me something to work with, and which allows others, because we have others in listening, finding that a lot of these mental mind treatments relate to them. And so you're really doing a bigger service than you ever, ever, ever imagine. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my list. And the next person is who I'm going to say is, as you know, I don't say names when I come off my list because they have it written up there. And I'll say Miss G. I know who Miss G is. So as I connect into the love force and knowing that we're all connected as one, I speak my word for Miss G, knowing that the deep healing that has been happening and going on continues. It's like breath. You breathe in the light and you breathe out the dark. You breathe in the light and you breathe out those elements that have created the situation that you find yourself in. The deep healing that continues emotionally, spiritually. It is like a awareness of being connected in a way I don't think that you have felt really before. I think in your mind you have, but this is in your body, in your soul. It is becoming clear. It is becoming aware. It is becoming a sense of being. I am so grateful to see the deep healing as it continues, and the growth and the awareness of all that there is that there is oneness, and that oneness is there for Miss G every second of the day, that it is working to release, to let go, to it's like unfolding layers that have been suppressed. It is unfolding the essence so that there is a healing that takes place at such deep levels. It's like I just hold my breath, but we don't hold our breath. We let it go. And in letting it go, the relaxation that's necessary for the healing to continue in all the different cells, way down to those little quarks and quacks that exist in every little cell. And it just breathes the essence of all that there is. I give thanks in knowing that there is this deep healing taking place. I give thanks in knowing that letting go of the many different aspects that are happening. I give thanks in knowing there is love and light and beingness happening on every level and every way. So Miss G can celebrate life, can become part of all the things that she desires. And I give thanks by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. Oh, I just realized I didn't give myself a drink of water. Isn't that nice? And I was sitting here not thinking. Okay. So going further on, this is for Mr. C. As I tune into Mr. C, I know that healing is happening on all levels: physical, emotional, and mental. I know there is a letting go of false belief and attitude and awareness of self. I know there is it's like a shuffling. It reminds me of a Rubik's Cube where there's a shuffling going on to align everything, that there is a new alignment happening. There's a new awareness of possibilities. There's a new letting go of fear and anxiety, that what is desired maybe won't happen or can't happen. It is a letting go. And all of these elements are coming together. It probably needs maybe another 10 days, but it's happening. It's moving. I can see these Rubik's Cube beginning to rock. I'm rocking because I feel the rocking as it's adjusting. And it's letting go some old beliefs. I want to go back to 3 years old and 5 years old and 7 years old in particular, whatever went on in those years. And it's letting go concepts, beliefs, attitudes, and judgments that were made at that time. I know that Mr. C will arise very quickly in a new form, in a new belief, in a new awareness, in a new assertion of all directions. Life is wonderful. And Mr. C will experience the creation of himself. It will create how he can move forward in doing all that he wants to do. I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks in the releasing of the old beliefs, attitudes, decisions, all of that from when so young. And in the freedom of that arises a whole new awareness of being and of life. And so as I release this thought, knowing it is true, I give thanks by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay. Onward and upward, as the saying goes. Now, the next person is another Mr. M. As I move into Mr. M's vibration and make connection to the love force, I feel I almost have to break through a barrier of disbelief. I have to, you might say, evaporate resistance and allow the love to begin to dissolve the shell that has been created so that other people's energy can be released. It is like encasing oneself in an iron bodysuit, but the bodysuit is not close like an old knight. It's like around, like we would do maybe our auras if we were to encase our aura. So consequently, all of these other energies that are picked up are held in this iron suit, so to speak, to justify the essence of who and what Mr. M is. I know the power of love. I know that the love can break down no matter what it is, whether it's steel, iron, any kind of strong resistance. Love will transform all things. But I also know that the person must want it. And the conflict comes when the person energetically believes that this is their penance. This is their way of suffering and brings penance. So my prayer in a way, or my mental mind treatment in a way, is going to shift in that Mr. M is able to see that by releasing others' energy, he can be totally himself without justification, without trying to make good and do what needs to be done, the allowing of all the things. And in allowing the releasing, it's almost like it cracks like a nut. You know, you crack a nut sometimes and it falls in a walnut in particular. You can do that, kind of break. And I can see that by allowing real love in, universal love energy that has no judgment whatsoever, if we bring that in, that Mr. M can let go and find his compassion and his awareness in a depth that he has not experienced for a long, long, long time. I give thanks in knowing that the nut can be cracked. I give thanks in knowing that the iron shell can be released and let go. I give thanks in knowing that he can be totally himself and not reflect all these other energies that are running within. Knowing this is true for Mr. M, I am truly, truly thankful. And I know the thought form that goes out to him at this moment will aid and help the letting go of the iron cast around, because I see it breaking apart and letting the sunshine through, and the sunshine representing the love, allowing the acceptance, allowing the forgiveness. Self-forgiveness is so big in these situations, to allow that in and know that all is forgiven. No matter what you think in your mind, it is forgiven. It is us that holds on. And in knowing this, oh gosh, do I ever give thanks. And for it is loving, it is caring, and it is knowing. And I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. Well, we're not getting many chatties on the line today, so I'm glad I have a few people that I have written down. I had a conversation with a young girl today who sees entities, and we talked about what that meant, and she's really quite young. And I've spoken to her before when she was younger, but her mum bought her now because, of course, what's happening is she's beginning to become a little bit more fearful because she's not sure of what these images that she sees. Some are nice and some are shadows. Now, I know a little bit about this because I've done ghost busting in my life. In fact, have a little booklet about that. So I'm just going to do a little prayer in relation to support her as she moves forward. I'm going to call her Miss S because she is a miss. And Miss S, I know that no matter what our age is, no matter what lifetimes we've had before in where and what planet or whatever, doesn't matter, because we're here on planet Earth at this moment in human form. And I know that the psychic abilities that often we're born with, people like myself as a child would shut them down because it became too incredibly unreal in a way, because it didn't fit what was saying, what I was being told. But in this case, it has not done that, because of really her mother has really aided that does not shut down. So I give thanks as I move into Miss S's vibration, in knowing that the love force that is there for each one of us is that she can release fear of the unknown and feel sure and secure in herself and her understanding of vibration, which is what we talked about today, that everything is a vibration, and to know and trust in herself. And I just give so much. I just gave her a little present to take away so that she could also begin to know how to clear energies that didn't, what's the word, that doesn't really of the highest, we will say. And she didn't quite understand the vibration, but she plays the piano. So I could point out that when you touched a key, there was a sound, and it was a vibration. I think she understood that a little bit more. And often when you're dealing with a child, you have to speak in their language, because it's very easy to move into your own language. I give thanks in knowing that Miss S will and is able to let go of her fear of the unknown and to feel sure and secured in herself. And the fear of something might be behind her or something might be around and she feels unsure is gone. And because her strength in herself, even at a young age, strengthens, deepens, and broadens within, so she knows that she is in command of her. I give thanks in this knowing, and I give thanks in the awareness of being, of how, what, and where. And so I give thanks, knowing that it is done, that she is sure and secure in herself. And so it is. Okay, Marion says, can I have a prayer about making my dreams come to fruition? Isn't that interesting? Because I had something written down about that. Must have read your mind earlier. So I'm just going to go back here and we'll come back to that, because I want to add something, a few couple other things in here, and Marion will come back if that's all right, because I want to just complete a couple more of these and then I'll come to you there. Miss D, I know in the love of all things that many times it is difficult to separate feelings that you have and accept that there is a loving force that loves you no matter what. That we tend to often look at the physicality of what's happening around us and think that is the reality of what it is, and not be able to see beyond to the bigger picture. And in this moment, I know that Miss D is able to feel respected, fulfilled, and desired in any moment, because she connects to the greater love force. And it isn't one person or two people or three people that create that. That it is her ability to know there is love and light and ease and grace. To know that she herself is strong and can feel all the things that she desires, not because one person doesn't give it to her, or two people don't give it to her, or three people don't give it to her, but because she gives it to herself. So there is a claiming of self-power, empowerment, I guess the word is. By claiming the self-empowerment, and you feel respected for yourself, you feel fulfilled, you feel desired, because you know all those things are wrapped up inside yourself. All those things are creating what you want for yourself. So I give thanks in knowing this, and I give thanks by letting go this thought, knowing it is true, that it is done, that Miss D is able to feel all that and aware of where she's happening. And I give thanks by knowing. And I say thank you, thank you, thank you, as I release this whole thought, knowing it is already done. And so it is. Amen. Okay, Marion, can I have a prayer about making my dreams come to fruition? Yes, I have to say. Okay. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know that Marion is very connected to that one power and that one essence. And therefore, as I speak my word, I know that her dreams come into fruition. I know that her dreams can manifest. They can be right there in front of her so she can touch it, feel it, and know that it is real. And that whatever her dreams are, in whatever shape, form it takes, that it will manifest out of the soup of life. Things are created out of whatever because of the belief of what you desire. I know the dream here. I know what that is. And so in my mind, I see that right there. And it's a matter of a little bit more steps. So just a few more steps. And it's like it manifests out of nothing. This is the interesting thing. It comes out of the clouds. It comes out of the what would you call it? The fog. And there it is, exactly what you want. Maybe a little different here and there, but it's what is there and being presented to you. This is being presented. So it's like keeping on stepping, knowing that your dream will manifest and in your words come to fruition. But to me, it's a manifestation. It is making it whole. It's making it touchable. It's making it so it's there in wholeness. And it is exciting because it's different somehow. There's a different thing about it, but it's exciting because it just comes with it's kind of like you almost trip. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's like you trip over it. It's like you fall into it and you're going, oh my goodness. I was going to say it's like it's here all the time and you just didn't see it. Now you're going to see it. And so I give thanks in knowing this. I'm excited. I am so blown away in a way by such a manifestation of unexpectability. It's like, as I said, tripping over it, and there it is. Maybe not tomorrow, but it's so close, I can smell it. I give thanks for this. I give thanks for Marianne and knowing. I give thanks and knowing that manifesting in all ways can happen and occur, and it brings about a sense of fruition for sure, because it's here, it's at one, and finally the breath of letting go and just being, and in the being all things fall into place. I give thanks for this knowingness, and I release and let go by saying, and so it is. Amen. Wonderful. Okay. Shaylee has come on again and said hello. Hello, Shaylee. I think I got your name. I got it wrong last week. I apologize again. Okay, I got a couple more here. So, Shaylee, if you want to know if you got something you want to pray them for, or I should say, a medical mind treatment for, I'd be happy to do it. But I've got two more on my list here. Okay, and they're both Miss A's. So the first one, Miss A, is about trusting herself and her ability to create. I know the one power and the one essence, which is all around us. And we just basically need to breathe it in sometimes and allow it to come in and fill our hearts, to fill out our cells and our awareness that this lovingness that is absolute for ourselves is there within us. And as it loves unconditionally and works to create what it is you want, desire, so you can be fulfilled. The important element here, and especially for Miss A in this case, is to trust herself and her ability to create. Her ability to create. We put a thought out, and the universe will bring, the loving universe, right, will bring to us that which we want. But it is your recognize you then have to do something with it. It's not about being lazy or not, what's the word am I looking for? Waiting for, oh, here I am. Yes, I know I'm loved and it will create it. No, it doesn't do that. We co-create in our world. We co-create. And so our thoughts are very important. Our emotions are very important because the thought, I actually, I say this often to my clients, thoughts are is the framework, and the feeling is the creating, the putting in the walls and the ceiling and the roof and things like that. And it kind of it gives it impetus, it gives it its essence. And I feel here that your ability to create is allowing things to unfold, not so much from the mental side of things, because I think you have that figured out. I think it's the letting, the knowing, the pleasing, the thinking, the essence of where and what and hello. And so you allow that to go. And it just, oh, it feels so good to just be free, knowing that the universe is there to support you and bring to you so that you can work with it. That's the wonderful thing. It brings to you the possibility and all those things so that you can work with it. And that's delightful. And I give thanks for you knowing that, for me knowing that, for people who are listening to know that, because life is full and all things can be created. I truly believe that. We inhibit ourselves, we doubt ourselves, we question ourselves, we lose trust, we lose faith. And those are the two things I find that we need mostly, is to have trust and faith that something, we don't know what always, will fulfill what we choose and what we want. I give thanks for Miss A. I give thanks in knowing that it is true and it is done and allowed. And so it is. Amen. I got another Miss A. And then, Shirley, if you have an absolute thing that you want, can you write that out for me? It's easier if I've got a focus, please. And then I will do with this while I deal with this other Miss A. I'm getting warm in here because I turned the king down. I'm getting hot. Okay. As I said, this is for Miss A. Second Miss A. I know that sometimes it is very difficult to let go of anger and resentment to others because we feel hard done by. We feel that life hasn't given us the break that we should have. I know that also when we do that, we separate ourselves from self-forgiveness, that we separate ourselves from the ability to be able to see beyond what has happened and what occurred. When we have self-forgiveness, we can forgive ourselves for where we screw up, because often that's what we do. We mess up, we screw up, we say the end thing, or we get so upset and angry inside. Our thoughts are not productive in relation to what we're wanting to create. And so in this moment, as I reach into the one power and the one love, I'm sending, now I don't usually talk like this, but I am sending a thought form of letting go of the old angers and resentments to others. But I also want to mention for self-recrimination for things that have not worked out is probably the most damaging, because it doesn't give you any room to come into what we call the forgiveness state. I have, for those that hear me talk on Wednesday in particular, you'll hear me talk sometimes of how I have gone months forgiving myself for stuff that I've done. We're not perfect. We're humans. We respond and react to those things that happen to us. And sometimes they're not very what you would call loving. And we can't just go and say, well, I forgive them. That doesn't mean much. It's about forgiveness of self. When we have forgiven of self for our part, even though we believe it was not our fault, we've got to forgive ourselves because we were there. Then you is easy begin when you've forgiven yourself or you're part of it, that you can forgive them, because vibrations that create A and B come together. And so therefore it becomes important to let go of anger, resentment, blame, all those things that go on, and allow yourself to be free to love, to join, to be all that you can possibly be. Because love is there always, just a breath away. It wants to come in. It wants to support you. It wants to create a life that you want. Sometimes it doesn't look like it. I know when I look at my life and where I've been and what I've done, from the heights to the depths to the ins and the outs. But it's the peace inside that comes. And when the peace goes in from inside, it's because you're rattling around about something that you are angry about, or you resent, or you're mad, or you're whatever. And I have found for myself, this kind of work that I'm doing here on Monday nights helped me. And mostly when it comes to forgiving myself for my attitude in my head, for my lack of compassion in my heart, all of those things play a part. And so for Miss A, the need to let go of the anger and resentment to others is really about opening that heart to see things in a different way. It's so easy to blame. They did. It's their fault. Why did, and I'm all alone and no one cares. That's not true. Universe, love, energy always cares for each and every one of you. Everyone. No one is exempt. Where we get exempt is because we don't allow the love in. We're so full of anger. We're so full of hate, even. We're so full of resentment. We're so full of blame. There's no way we allow the love in to take it away. Now, in some religions, they talk about being born again, and that's what it is allowing the love to come in and clearing out all these emotions where people are stuck. And today, I have mentioned several that are stuck in an emotion. So I'm getting a little bit evangelistic here. If you want a life where you find happiness and able to accept what's going on, even though it may be not what you want, you know that the love energy is there for you, and you forgive your part in whatever it is. You forgive yourself. You connect to that love energy and you forgive. And it's like everything opens up and life looks different. And therefore it becomes different. Oh yeah, you may still have obstacles and things like that. It's not like it's like a lot of people think, oh, if I'm born again, then that's it. That's the end. No, it's just the beginning of allowing love to come into your heart, into your soul, into the pores of your skin, into the beingness, and you let go of the anger and resentment. And as I have this thought that came from Miss A, which hopefully some of you will listen and see, oh yeah, I do that. You're limiting yourself. You're not in your full power at all. Love is powerful. Love is not wimpy. Love is strong. Love will take you where you need to be for your growth. Remember that. You're just a little top of a pin of lifetimes, many of us like me who've had many, many lifetimes in this. And it's like growing slowly to that point where you can totally and 100% embrace the essence of who you are. So in the next time period, you can choose to stay here or go somewhere else or do whatever. But you're going to be conscious. You're going to be loving. You're going to be aware. So I give thanks for Miss A for allowing us to see the importance of letting go and moving forward into forgiveness and allowing the love to come in. And so I release this whole thought by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, now, Shaylee, you haven't given me a real a line, but what I'm just going to do is a basic prayer on you. I don't have your age. I don't have what you want, but let's see what comes up, okay? Okay. I know there is one power and the one essence that links us all together. So I say my prayer here, my mental mind treatment for Shaylee, based on the knowingness that we're all connected in one. As I move into the vibration of Shaylee, I know that I can let go of whatever has gone on in the last 3 years. I know that I can reach into the depths of me to allow myself to shine. And it reminds me of a sunflower shining, and the fear of shining like a sunflower. You know, a sunflower is so big and bright and there. In allowing that to blossom and being, it's like a rejoicing in a new vibration and a new awareness of your power. Not power over, not power under, but power with. Power with creates the best ability to move forward and know that we're all one, joined together by this beautiful love energy if we allow it and accept it. I know that you have power within you. I know that your heart sometimes gets, oh, I don't know whether I can do that. And I just want to say, if it feels right and you feel that your motivation is pure in the sense of lovingness and giving, yes, you can do it. You can move forward. I know that lovingness is there within you. I know your power is there. Your brightness is there. And all you have to do is accept who you truly are and go forward. And so I give thanks in this knowing, Shaylee, and thank you for being here tonight and adding to all of this. And so it is. Amen. Okay, guys. Just want to thank each one of you for listening, for being there. I know I'm just saying this because I know more people seem to listen to this than maybe what we have done mental mind treatments for. And I just want to thank you for that. I also want to thank you so much for the new subscribers that have come on and that are listening and subscribing. I know my growth is not like some people, but I'm very happy with everyone that comes on. If you ring the bell, of course, then you're told when I'm on live or when I've put up something or other. I also want to thank you for the support. I'm also going to say I have used my little rants here. I have used Facebook a lot in the last several years for letting people know when my shows are up. They have changed their concept. I'm having a terrible time getting notices and things that are coming up or are up or whatever. And I just want to say, if you really want to make sure you have the connections and things, you may want to make sure that you're on my newsletter, which has just come out for August, because I've honestly used Facebook a lot to allow people to know when the shows were up, what they were doing, what we were talking about. And that seems to be very, very difficult for me right now. On my phone, I can put something up. I can't seem to get it through my computer. I don't know what I clicked that has changed it, but I did something, obviously. And I just want to say, if you really want to stay in contact, is go to my website, normacowie.com, sign up for the newsletter, because then at least you'll know what's going on. Right now, I don't know where anything is going. Some things go to my regular Norma Cowie page. Some things go to Norma Cowie Psychic Life Consultant page. I don't know. It's driving me insane. I totally am quite upset, to say the least. But I'm just going to say, I usually let people know if anything's coming up in my newsletter, like workshops and mini readings and things like that, or specials when you can purchase not like a past life regression thing. If you can purchase that, so you can do that. There's a book that goes with that. There's other things that I do usually monthly. No way can you find anything about that on Facebook anymore. So, because I can't seem to figure out how to do it. If anybody knows the magic number, please let me know, because I am at my wit's end. As I said, I can do it from the phone, but then how do I still, anyway, to get the links in is sometimes there is one way when on Wednesdays, because I pre-record these on Zoom, then send them on. I seem to be able to get that in. Okay, that link. But the others, no, but they're not going where they want to, because I know the views are not where they usually are, because people don't know that I'm on, or people don't know they're where. So that's where subscriptions are really, really important. So you'll know where I am. Sorry to go on, but it's just, it's just like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for being here. And for Karen, Marion, and Shaylee, thank you very much for being on what I call live, and the people that I have done the prayers for because of acknowledgments. I give thanks. Thank you. You have a great week. I know I do. I love this weather. So you enjoy. Night now.